Going on, Jerome's. So your Minnesota Vikings head out to the desert. Sin City. Lots of Vikings fans out there. Wish I could have been among them, but I wish I could also read a calendar. That's on me. It is what it is, but the Vikings and Justin Jefferson at 100% are looking to take it to stupid-ass Davante Adams. Actually, now that Davante's not a Packer, I can say that I really like and respect Davante Adams, the pride of Fresno State. It's good times. But also, if only he had a quarterback to throw to him, because for the love of everything that's holy, not this one, for love of everything that's holy, we cannot lose to Baby Farva. Can't do it. Can't do it, man. But the Raiders, love and respect them. Max Crosby, if he plays, is a monster. Antonio Pierce has done good things, and we'll see. But the Vikings, this really is a must-win. As cliche as it sounds, this is it. Like, honestly, if the Vikings drop this one, to have some difficult conversations. But, again, it could have been a lot rosier. Shoulda, coulda, woulda beat the Broncos. Shoulda, coulda, woulda beat the Bears. But, again, is what it is. The Vikings are 6-6, and getting a win on the road against the Raiders will take a big leap forward as the Vikings try to get into the playoffs and do some damage there. So here are 10 keys to a Vikings victory on Sunday. Number 1, Dobbs takes care of the football. For the love of everything that's holy, win the turnover battle, or just be even, just be equal. That's the whole thing. Where the Vikings in their games this season, their losses have literally given the game away. The Bucs, the Eagles, the Chargers, the Chiefs, the Broncos, the Bears. Vikings all lost a turnover battle, and it's been ridiculous, absolutely redonkulous, man. And this season, with Dobbs under center for the Vikings, 8 turnovers in 4 games, 4 picks against the Bears. It's just can't do it, man. And I understand Dobbs' upside. We certainly saw it as he won NFC Offensive Player of the Week against the Falcons, leading them in the come-from-behind win. But if you're going to keep giving the ball to the other team, you're going to sit. That's what you take. Number 2, the offense is catered to Dobbs. And this was partly on Kevin O'Connell, where especially that Bears game plan where he was just a drop-back passer, so frustrating. But now, with the bye week, Kevin O'Connell and Wes Phillips have talked ad nauseum about catering the scheme to the talent that you have. And with Dobbs, it's using his legs. It's getting him out on the perimeter. It's getting him into easy reads, letting him improvise, and get back to the best parts of the Atlanta game, the best parts of the first half of the Saints game as well. Get back to that. Have to get back to where you once belonged with Josh Dobbs. Number 3, Jefferson returns, makes a statement. You know that JJ is just champing at the bit. Like, he sees all of the love that Tyreek Hill is getting around the league. He sees all the love that all these other high-end receivers like CD and A.J. Brown have gotten. You know that it just irks him. And you know that it really frustrates him because even though, yes, the Vikings did win 5 out of 7 games without him, those last 2 games, I mean, if JJ was back, I mean, the Vikings win. But now you know that JJ is back 100% and there will be no limitations and he's just ready to rock and roll. I think that Jefferson is going to come out and put the bang thing on the Raiders and certainly make a statement. Next up, number 4, get something done on the ground. And I do think that with the offense being catered to Josh Dobbs and using his mobility, I think this could open things up in the running game as well. Raiders are 24th in the league, allowing 4.4 yards per tote. And whether it's Ty Chandler or Alexander Madison or Dobbs or whatever, they got to get something done. And remember, against the Broncos, Chandler and Madison actually had 150-plus yards on the ground, so it's not like they can't do it. And also, the offensive line, They got to bounce back from that atrocious Bears game. That's what needs to happen. Next up, number 5, offensive line bounces back from the Bears debacle. Yes, Brian O'Neill got worked, and if Max Crosby does play, that's going to be an issue for Brian O'Neill. Darisaw and the O-line, they have to get back to being the Minnesota Movement Company and just getting it done because. Yes, part of it was, Dobbs just being in the pocket and just sitting there, and some of it is pocket awareness, some of it is not knowing the offense, some of it is a lot of things. But bottom line, you got to block. You got to get things done. This offensive line was too good for what happened to them at home against the stupid Bears 2 weeks ago. Next up, key number 6, anyone but Davante. That's what it comes down to, man. This Raiders offense, it's not good. It's no bueno, but also we said that the Bears offense wasn't good. But the whole thing about it is, too, is like Kevin O'Connell, Brian Flores were not here when Davante Adams was in division. Harrison Smith remembers Davante Adams. So he'll have some insight on how they helped try to take care of him during the Zimmer regime. And Davante Adams, so far this season, he's the only real receiver on the team. 69 catches. Nice. 8-14 and 4 touchdowns on 118 targets. And it's got to be anyone else. It's got to be Jacoby Myers. It's got to be the tight end Michael Meyer. It's got to be Hunter Renfrow. It's got to be someone else. Like double team, bracket, Davante, box and one. I don't care. Just 17 guys defending him. Put Rudy Gobert on Davante Adams. Actually, Jay McDaniels will be better once he gets back. Doesn't matter. But either way, anyone but 17. Like, if the Raiders beat you, fine. Like, if Jacoby Myers comes out and has a 100-yard game or Michael Meyer catches 2 touchdowns over the middle, fine. Fine. So be it. Just anyone but Davante, man. Next up, key number 7. Danielle has 3+ sacks. Where we start from way. Like, Danielle Hunter has been great this year, but he hasn't had that huge bust-out game like Khalil Mack has had or TJ or Myles Garrett has had. But, Danielle getting 3+ sacks, would absolutely love to see it. And the Raiders' offensive line, it's not great. Also, they could be losing their talisman, Colton Miller, who's been a DNP'd so far throughout the week. Something to monitor on Friday. But the Raiders have allowed 118 pressures and 28 sacks, and I think it could be yum time. The entire offensive line up and down, they can't hang. And whether it's Colton Miller, whether it's Justin Herron, whether it's Thayer Mumford, last year's 7th-round pick out of Ohio State, or Jermaine Elamagnoir, I think that the Vikings certainly can get something done on the edge. I think it could be a big-time game for Flores and Danielle Hunter. And else, it's been a while since Harrison got a sack. How about Harrison gets a sack on Aiden O'Connell as well? Love to see that. Next up, key number 8. Defense generates a turnover. And again, Aiden O'Connell, this is the man who will give you the ball. But Aiden O'Connell this season has 6 interceptions, 4 fumbles on the year. Raiders are 27th in the league with 21 turnovers. Don't look who's 32nd. Just don't look. But the Vikings defense, part of it is like, hey, the Vikings defense have been doing their job. They forced 2 fumbles on Justin Fields in the 4th quarter. Do you think that would certainly help? But at a certain point, it's like, hey, if the offense is going to be inert, how about you take the ball away and score? Maybe that's what's this going to take. Maybe not this game, but the Lions game for certain. Next up, key number 9. Josh Jacobs gets shut down. Where I mean, the Raiders are sort of bereft of offensive weapons, but Josh Jacobs is still one of the better running backs in the game, even though, I mean, the Raiders' offense is a mess. Offensive line has a tough time blocking. Josh Jacobs can't really get anything going behind the O-line. He has been decent in the receiving game. Frustrated Josh Jacobs, fantasy manager here, but the Raiders are 31st in rushing yards, 31st in yards per attempt. But what it comes down to is that, hey, Davante Adams is their best skill position player, and it's pretty clear that Josh Jacobs is number 2. So got to shut that down and go from there. Next up, key number 10 for the Vikings to get a win on Sunday. One big special teams play. So again, we always leave this one up there, and this big-time special teams play could be Greg Joseph not missing, or Ryan Wright not being asked this year, or a block punt. Like, when's the last time the Vikings blocked a punt? Was it Josh Metellus when he had one in back-to-back games? Was that last year? Blocked field goal. Hey, carry on my J-word son. Hey, all those penalties that you've racked up, how about make up for it with one blocked field goal on Daniel Carlson if he plays, even though he's down with the sickness right now? How about that? Or force a muff punt. Najee Thompson, one time. Love to see it. But either way, third phase, coach hat, extremely important. Go get things done. Final score prediction. I truly believe that Josh Dobbs and the offense will be different. Because if it's the same thing that they trotted out against the Bears and the Broncos, it's done. It's finito. And I get how soon we forget how well Dobbs played in the first half of the Saints game, second half of the Falcons game. And I do think that Dobbs is going to be different. I think that they're going to utilize his running ability. I think that he probably gets like 60, 70 yards on the ground. I think that he delivers some nice balls to JJ and Hawkinson and Addison. And I actually do think that the Vikings, they get right. They get right off the bye. They go into Las Vegas. It's going to be a big-time Vikings presence in that stadium. There's going to be a lot of purple going around. They're going to do the bump, bump, skull chant all the time, baby. That's right. And I think the Vikings finally, mercifully, get a big-time win on the road. Vikings 30, Raiders 9, and then we're on to Cincinnati. 7-6, picking up sticks, feeling great. And then just keep this rolling. Next 5 games. Next 5 games is basically a one-game playoff every single week. The Vikings got to rack up and stack up wins. Got to go 3-2, maybe 4-1. Yeah, just take care of things. Again, take care of things in Vegas, business trip, and go from there. But your thoughts are thoughts. 10 keys to a Vikings victory on Sunday against the Raiders. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.